Hi, I'm Randall Barney. We're here at the NAB show speaking with teleport, satellite, and technology providers about their customer solutions, and here's what they had to say.
Focusing on satellite business is probably VSATs, just the proliferation of small terminals. And it's not always just the VSAT networks, it's the terminals themselves. They've been both good and bad. The bad part is sometimes they're not as accurate as they should be, and we get interference from them. The good part is the prices come down. It's made bandwidth accessible at a much lower cost to a number of folks, which is good for the satellite business. In the fiber space, it's probably more along the lines of what have we done for video and how video distribution has changed significantly because of the web streaming and the complexity of the systems. I mean, VSAT terminals are great. The terminals are simpler. They've got these one-button deploy, auto-deploy terminals. Do they always work? Not necessarily. And so you talk about the complexity of those and the technologies involved. As equipment gets smarter, some of it works great. It still needs a lot of management. And what we're seeing from some of those technologies are we're seeing network management systems that deal with everything but the RF component. And in the satellite space, you still have RF systems that need to be monitored, controlled, managed. You have uplink power control, rain attenuation that has to be dealt with. And having those systems to deal with those complex situations is important. And so there's a merger of network management on just the data side of these networks and the RF components. Something I heard about at the last show was a new modulation scheme. I think the term was spiral modulation, which instead of doing just a flat QAM or PSK type modulation, it's adding a dimension to that. Mathematically, on paper, it's possible. I've heard patents have been issued. I'm not sure anything's actually been built yet. So keeping an eye on that, and that could increase the bandwidth that is provided via satellite links by a factor of 10 or more, which could be very interesting for the satellite industry. Obviously, some of the Chi-Meta technology for flat antennas, that's been out for a couple years, looks very interesting, and I'd like to see that continue. What I'd really like to see are LEO networks that are functioning, cost-effective, global networks, and the technology's there. I mean, the flat panel antennas are there, the auto steering, the flying the satellites. It's all technically possible. There's a huge concern about RF interference, but I think we can manage that with the right modulation schemes. The challenge is political and rights on spectrum, whether or not an operator has a right to transmit into a country at specific frequencies. That's where the challenge is going to be. But I'd really like to see that take off and be viable.